You're listening to the podcast where we talk about life, sports, family, and everything in between. Welcome to Just Talking Out Loud with your hosts, Ron and Terry.
Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Ron.
And I'm Terry.
We're really happy you are on this journey with us as we
tuning in
our podcast journey. We got I got a lot. You know, I said this before. A lot of times I go in, I write these things down, and then other things come up. You know, during the day or sometimes during the week as I'm preparing for this thing. And I got a couple things that I'd already written down. Like we're going to talk about. We'll start off here with a couple things. We're going to start out with kids and phones. When is a great time, or when is a good time? I don't know if it's a great time.
There isn't a great time
to give kids a phone. What age? And if you have dental issues, let's go back to the phones. What's a good age? We'll talk about that. If you have dental issues, prescribed medicine might not work as good as this option. It's only $7. We'll talk about that. Also, if you found $1 million in your bank account, what would you do besides pass out? And also, we're going to talk about swearing. And sometimes you just have to let it out, and you might be surprised what it could do for you. And then we'll finish up with a quiz. We've got 20 unpopular foods, and it will reveal your most polarizing quality. We're both going to do
polarizing
that.
By polarizing.
Well, you're what you may or may not think is your best quality.
Okay.
You know, people might see you as this. Maybe you don't see it, but we'll do that. We'll take this test. We'll both take it, and we'll see what our qualities are. But before we do that, I was going to see if I can find this. They're making McDonald's is making Happy Meals back for adults.
Happy Meals for adults.
Yes, and the toys are included, not adult toys. So don't get your hopes up too much. But
not your kind of toys?
No, not my kind of toys or your kind of toys. But October 3rd they started, so it's already been started. And they're going to come in
today.
Several boxes. Yeah, today. Well, if you're listening, this is
the day we're taping.
We're taping, yeah. So you have a choice of Big Mac, a 10-piece chicken McNugget meal. Each one include a McDonald Land or Cactus Buddy figurines. And they cost, I want to see what the cost is. It doesn't matter. Everything's so freaking expensive anyway.
I know. Does it come with your fries and your drink?
Yes. Fries and a drink. So you can pick two, Big Mac or the 10-piece chicken. And you get, here's the toys. Grimace, the Hamburglar, Birdie, I don't know what Birdie is, and the brand new Cactus Buddy. And they're also offering up merchandise if you would like some. So if you're really into Happy Meals for adults, Big Mac is bringing it back. I
don't think we need more little toys around.
Well, we got a little one on the, running around the house. And he's running around the house. Literally.
I did like the fun with food ones that came in the Happy Meals, like the little mini shake, and they used them in the kitchen.
We still have those.
I know when they had their little kitchen, they could put the shake in the refrigerator or whatever.
I think the ones we have are what was those cars that turn or things that turned
into
like
machines? Transformers. Like they would transform into something and then they would go back into and they looked like a little chicken McNugget box or they looked like a French fries or whatever.
Well, the one thing that we found, because we've been looking at toys, was the French fries turned into like a computer desk.
Yeah.
Did you see that? I turned out and then it turned into a computer. But yeah, now that we have a grandson, we are constantly looking at ways to keep. He doesn't really. You can keep his attention for a little bit because he's just at that age. He just wants to go.
Yeah, he's not even like your books have to be short, like one-liners.
Oh, yeah, he's not.
Or have something to touch or textures or something that he wants to touch while you're reading it to him.
You're not going to get through a page.
He's not like his dad was. His dad would sit and read books for.
Well, I mean, technically, he's still
Yeah.
premature type thing. But he's doing things really fast.
He is. He seems like he's caught up in that respect of doing things, when they're supposed to. But
I know what I was going to bring up, because this happened, I believe it was Saturday. No, it was Sunday. We were making a meal, and we reached in the closet, and you were looking for dates, best to use dates. And we couldn't figure out. It said 28 SE 2023. And we had no idea.
The 28th of September.
Yeah, it's September. SE means September. And then.
So they put them all 2 letters instead of 1. So NO, it said no. And I'm like, November.
November. One was November. I was just surprised.
So I guess DE would be December. JA would be January. FE would be February.
No, not necessarily, because I think we looked at that, and I don't think it actually worked out.
I don't know, but I just 2 letters was like, what in the heck's that mean?
You can find everything online. You really can. It doesn't matter. I forget. I think I still had it on my phone, because I was looking up saying, what does that mean? Best by use date. And that's how I found it, was SE meant September. And I was just surprised we actually found something that was actually not out of date. So that should be, not necessarily, because we used one that was 2021, I believe, didn't we?
Yeah, it was either that or this summer. It was 22, like June of 22 or something.
Oh, well, that's not too bad.
But, I mean, I haven't been buying things like that because I was dieting, so.
Right, stuffing. It was stuffing.
All the package, all that packaged stuff is not good for us.
No, and anything processed.
But it tastes so good.
Well, that's what they do. They make the stuff that tastes bad. Like, you can go through a box of donuts because you have a variety. You don't want to taste them all because they're that freaking good, and that's why I'm getting to be a fat hog, because, at work they constantly eat on every freaking floor. And you say, no, I'm not having it. Then you go to the next floor and they have an eclair, and you're like, well, yes.
I really want
it is an eclair because I really like eclairs. Love donuts in general, but the eclairs are my. Well, you know what? No, that's not true, because
we do like
my
those.
Kryptonite is donuts. Period. Doesn't matter. But they make junk food. We talked about this before on this show. We've talked. Junk food is easy. If it was as expensive as the good stuff, then you would not buy the. Well, yeah, we'd still eat it. You're right. It doesn't really matter. So that's if you're looking.
Because when you go out to dinner and you really are craving that chocolate lava cake, you have it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What did we eat at? Where was we at? And we had that peanut butter. Was it Eaton Park? Was it Eaton Park?
Yeah, peanut butter pie. It was some kind of peanut butter pie.
And boy, was
it was
rich.
So rich. I'm glad we shared it because it was so rich.
And even after sharing it and splitting it in half,
we still got our fill because it was so rich. Yeah. If you like
that kind of thing, it was really
it was really good. I like peanut butter though. I'm a peanut butter hound.
Yeah, I smother myself in peanut butter, and she attacks me. That's how things get going around this house. It's the only way things get going. You got to smear yourself in peanut butter. Besides that, if you're looking at dates and you're not sure, Best Buy, and you see an SE or what was January?
I don't know. We didn't have that.
I should have looked it up, but that is what it is. A lot of it is just the abbreviation for a certain month.
The first 2 letters, yeah.
And as long as the other part, the 2022 or 23,
that's
24, that's
part.
really the important part.
You don't want to eat something that's 5 years old.
If it says 2012, you might want to just pitch the thing. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah.
Good idea? We actually made, I know we've talked about this before, we've actually made, didn't we try something because it was so old and it only came out it was like only a half inch.
It was a cake mix or something that was in the back, and it just didn't raise, but it didn't taste that bad.
I think we threw it out. I don't even think we ate it.
I don't know. But, I mean, I've had different things that some of them are okay. I mean, they put enough preservatives in that crap.
Here's one for you as we move on to the next segment before we start into the real stuff. What do you think we spend more time, how I want to say this, how we spend more time doing? Sitting on the toilet or exercising?
Sitting on the toilet.
Yes. we spend
most people
3 hours and 9 minutes on the toilet every week, but 90 minutes being active.
I believe that mine would be opposite. Just because I don't do a lot of sitting on the toilet. Not because I'm that.
You don't want to just get away sometimes when things are a little hectic.
I probably do the 3 hours with my feet up on the wall, just stretching my back out. You know what I mean? It might not be being real active, but it's stretching for,
Sometimes
20 minutes every morning.
I will admit that I disappear and you go into the bathroom because sometimes it's just, it's
Quiet.
a way to get away.
Quiet.
It's just you. Used to be just you way back in the day. It was just you. Now you can take entertainment with you.
Right.
Which is very scary. People taking their phones, legs are going numb, can't feel your bottom extremities because you've been on there so long. I can't watch a movie in there.
I don't know how people do that because it hurts my back too.
3 hours and 9 minutes during the week for a week. That's probably.
I may spend that much time because I drink a lot. So then you have to pee a lot,
Yeah. What if that counts like in the middle of the night? Because I'm getting older now.
Since my diet, I'm trying to drink more,
Although I don't sit when I'm peeing. Sometimes I do. I get lazy. Sometimes you just get lazy. And you just, and I'm going to sit down.
I have to.
Well, you sit. You're not squatting. Well, it's kind of a squat. Sort of. All right, that's the other thing. I wanted to throw that by, see what you thought. Oh, wait, there's one more. Okay, there's a hair in your meal at the restaurant. What do you do? Do you make the waiter take it back, or do you pick it out and keep eating? I think
we've had this problem at our house.
I think it depends on if it's like short and curly. You got to be really careful.
That's why I said depends what it looks like.
Now that's the other scary part, because if it is, then you're making this stuff naked, which
my hair comes out really easy, and especially when I've just washed.
We're still talking about the hair on your head.
Yeah,
okay.
You know what I mean. So if I've just washed my hair and then I go in to bake something, you could easily find a hair. And it's clean because I just washed it, and that's when it's most likely going to be in my.
Let's go back to the restaurant. You're in the restaurant. You see it.
If it's a real curly hair, I think I can't eat it.
Okay, let's. What if it isn't a curly hair? What if it's this long
like that
and stringy?
movie when they take it and put it.
What'd they do? What movie?
I don't know which one. It's one of those.
Oh, they put it on the pizza.
Yeah, so you know which one.
Yeah, there's that.
And they put it on, and it's short and curly, and you can tell.
Was that 10 Things I Hate About You?
I don't know.
I think it was, because you liked that movie. They put all the short curlies on there, and you almost. So you're going to. Would you send it back?
I don't know. That's really hard because, you hear these stories about you send something back and they spit in your food and stuff.
Yeah, but like
douse it in the toilet, or, you know what I mean?
But, or you just not, or do you, maybe you just say,
don't eat it.
I can't eat this. There's a hair in it. You don't want to send it back. I'll just, right? I mean.
I don't know. I don't know.
I've been lucky. Unless I've just eaten the hair and didn't notice.
You didn't notice it.
I think you would notice that, wouldn't you?
You would notice.
As you're pulling it out of your teeth.
God, throwing up.
I think that would be just gross. Well, they did a survey, and I think we're with the 53%. They'd make the waiter take it back, but I'm not sure I'd have him bring me another one. That's the scary part. You just don't know
what they might be insulted that you sent your food back and do something worse to it.
It's really close, though. 53% said they'd send it back. 47% said they would pick it out and eat on. I don't know.
If I knew who it came from and they're a clean person and it would look like a hair off your head, I might pick it out. You know what I mean?
Yes. That's an iffy.
But go into some restaurants and you see the people in the back. They're sweating. They're dripping sweat, and they just look.
Yeah, but you don't get a chance to see who's in the back making the food. You just see the waitress or the waiter.
Yeah.
And they usually, for the most part, they look great. They're nice people. They don't mean to have their hair flying in the food, but we don't know what's going on in the back. Maybe there's just a free-for-all. They're cutting hair back there, too, trying to make extra money. I don't know what's going on back there. Hair cutting and food all in one place. But I think what I would do is just, I'm not eating it, and can you take it off the bill? Well, if they do that, I guess that's the question. Would they? I'm sure they would. After thorough investigation, and it's not my hair in there.
Yeah.
With you, that'd be tough because your hair just falls out. It's all over in the bathroom. It's constantly picking up hair out of the bathroom.
I know, and I'm constantly
or the shower.
cleaning it out of the drain.
And I can't figure out why I'm getting a flood in the shower.
I get little animals out of the drain every time I wash it. So
crazy. All right, let's get started with some of our agenda stuff that we were supposed to do, and I got off track. And that's what happens to me. I see these, and I think it's interesting. The hair, and it was interesting. Yeah. Although it brought up a nightmare for you with the short curlies. So what? Let's look at. Well, we didn't have to think about this as parents. We did not, because we're 80s, 90s parents. Our kids were born 87, 89, and 95.
Our last one did get our older two. The cell phones came out for our older two.
Yeah, but by that time, they were in an age where we thought
they were
could
okay.
Get one.
Yeah, it was high school, 8th. I think they were 8th and 11th, 9th and 11th grade, or I don't know. But they were in high school. They were in sports, and we got them both phones when Nathan hurt his knee, and I needed help getting him to physical therapy. And that way, RJ could text me. He would take him right after school and drop him off at physical therapy, and then he would text. He dropped him off. I needed to pick him up at 4:15 or whatever. And
how old would he have been then?
So RJ was a junior and Nathan was a freshman.
Okay. So he was.
And that's when they got their phones for
15?
good. I think they already had phones at that point, but they didn't carry them all the time. Or I think they might have taken them, like Nathan might have taken his on days where he had sporting events. But
that is the time that I got, because I wasn't going to get one, right? And we ended up getting phones
for everyone,
for everybody. I wasn't going to get one, and that was when phones were free.
Oh yeah, we bought.
You'd buy the plan.
We got the plan, and then we got
a flip phone. I had a flip phone.
Yeah, we had like 2 free phones. We got 2 free phones, and then I think I paid like 99 cents for one. And then every time they went on sale or did a 99-cent thing or whatever, that's when we picked up phones for the kids.
And then back then, it was just a basic phone. It wasn't anything fancy.
Right, and then you paid per text. Remember her?
Yes.
Because I remember some bills where I would tell them, don't text, to call me, because...
Yeah, they were texting. When
you were texting too much, I remember someone getting a real high bill for texting, and
because it wasn't in the plan itself. It was extra if you wanted to text somebody.
I mean,
I forget how it worked.
Yeah,
it's been so long. So, do you think at that
point, it was
point,
like $9.99 per line, though? So
it was cheaper back then.
So we was like $40 for all 4 phones.
Yeah, now it's if you have. Well, if it's just me and you, well, we've got other kids on our plan, so it's hard to really figure out. But the plan itself is like, I think we pay $140.
Yeah, I mean that's
a lot of money for just.
Because I mean we started with a $40 plan.
Yeah, I'm not even on the plan.
It was $40 for 4 phones, and then it was extra. I mean, I could put $15 extra for unlimited texting or something like that.
That's what it was.
And I mean, as they came out with those things, we got it more. But, I mean, we didn't use them that much then. We did take them on vacations so that if we got separated and then if we were in different cars, we could call each other.
Right.
And we did, like I said, for sports and stuff. But I really remember that when we really let them have them and use them was when he hurt his knee. But
so what age? Was he 10? 89?
So Zachary got one shortly after that, and he was in 6th or 7th grade. And that's just because of our situation with the neighbors and stuff. because he would go with the neighbors and stuff. And I wanted to be able to call me if he needed to.
But how old were they? I mean, I'm trying to figure out.
They were 14 and 16.
So do we think, is it different nowadays? Do they have to get the phones earlier?
I really think I would make my kid wait till they are 11 or 12, probably 12.
I was going to say 12.
But 6th grade is 11, and but like our 6th graders at our school, some of them may run cross country, but most of them don't do sports until 7th grade.
Well,
so that's 12 years old. And why would you need to call your parent unless you were staying for a sport? But now you can try out for the school play and do things like that. And I think some of the grade schools are even doing that. And I think a lot of people are letting their kids get the phone in 4th and 5th grade now.
Well, I was thinking, it's sad to bring it up, but we've had so many incidences at schools, and there have been kids that have contacted parents and even called 911 from their phone as something's going on. God forbid that ever happens. And so you start to wonder as a parent, is that good or bad? I think it would be good, but I don't.
Kids at our school are not, if they're on their person and they can't see them, if they're in a pocket and turned off, they're okay. But if that phone goes off, the teacher confiscates it. But the reason our school does that is because we have too many problems with social media and them texting someone, oh, you're ugly, or, mean stuff on social media. Right. And then it becomes a school issue instead of a social media. And they want it to be a police issue that your parents, like if there is bullying, cyberbullying done, it's not done in our school. Right. Because they're not allowed to have their phones in our school.
Well, I think you have to. Yeah, you got to be able to weigh, and not to mention you shouldn't be, you're there for a reason, to learn, but the phone is there for after school, like you said, if you're going to try out for.
And I can see a parent wanting their kid to have their phone in their pocket because if something happened at school, like, with the Alice drills and all this other crap we have to go through, if something really did happen, you could take your phone out then and turn it on. I don't care. You can confiscate it. You can kick me out of school, whatever. I'm letting my mom know I'm okay,
Right.
So I can see why a parent would want their kid to have their phone on their person, because if you did have to evacuate and your kid was hiding someplace, they could text you only and let only you would know where they were.
Right.
And,
they're as we've talked about before, because we are the older, where we've grown up without phones.
Yeah.
We've had to read directions. We've had to read maps. I would like to think that if something catastrophic would happen, that our young people would be able to survive without a phone. I would hope.
And I don't, what? They're so into their phones and socially.
There are adults that can't get off their phone.
I know, and I think some people are socially, their electronics are their social life. Yeah. And I'm sorry, that's so impersonal to me that, that I'm just a text message. But
the bottom line is we think that 12 years old, 10, 12, not a bad age.
Yeah,
I think so.
I would try to put it off till 12, 14 if I could. Depending on the kid and what kind of sports they do. If I'm taking them, if they're coming home and I'm taking them to dance every day and I'm picking them up, well, then I know what time my drop off and pick up is. Why would they need a phone?
I also think you could put restrictions on what they can and cannot get into.
And where they're allowed to use it in the house. I think a lot of people let their kids bring it to the dinner table and text all. I would make our kids never brought their phones to the dinner tables, and they never talked on the phones during dinner. I remember getting phone calls when our family was eating dinner, and it was usually to make plans to say go roller skating that evening or the next evening. And I would say, can I call you back in 10 minutes as soon as I'm done with dinner? And,
like I said, there's good and bad. And there are a lot of good points, especially when our kids were older, started driving. They would contact us and it'd be easy to contact them. So,
we know people who put the what do you call it? The so they can find you.
Tracking
Tracking thing on them, so they knew where their kids were all the time.
I'd like to trust them.
My kids.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I've always been that way. I want to trust them. And I think we've been very positive with our kids. We've been very lucky, very blessed.
Yes.
For sure. Okay, so 10, 12, we're in agreement. All right, so let's say you have a toothache. Now, obviously, if you have a toothache, you're going to want to go to the dentist. But if it gets to a point where
you don't want
to
go
I don't want to go to
dentist.
the dentist. No, but I mean, if it gets bad enough, I have done that. But so what do you do?
You waited till you needed a root canal to go to the dentist.
Well, yeah. I didn't know that. It just started hurting, and then it had a root canal. But if you can't go to the dentist right away, they said that this actually works better than painkillers. So if you're suffering from a toothache, you might want to try this. You can get it on Amazon. You can get everything on Amazon. But it's called, in order to soothe the toothache, it says, and you can't reach a dentist, it's called clove, C-L-O-V-E, clove bud oil.
Clove bud oil?
Clove bud, B-U-D oil. It says a dab of the clove oil on a Q-tip addresses the pain directly, and a bottle of this only costs $7.89. Now that's, for some reason it's on sale, but it might be over by the time we get on this. Because once people start using, how the price goes straight up in the air. It was $12.99, which is still not bad.
No.
$13 to soothe the toothache until you get to the dentist. Now don't use it every day. Get to the dentist. Don't be like me. Don't be a wimp. It says here that it successfully stopped pain for hundreds of thousands of Amazon shoppers, 114,000 5-star reviews.
Oh, my.
So it's working. Also, in some of these reviews, they were gushing, saying that they've tried other products and clove oil has worked where other products have not. So if you are suffering
can you use it for like muscles too, or no, just in your mouth?
This just says, I don't know. It doesn't really. I mean, it just says this actually. It says toothache, but it doesn't say like maybe. By the way, it also says it'll leave users pain free for 24 hours.
Oh wow! See that's.
I mean, this is according to the reviews on Amazon.
Especially if you put that, if you ever had a toothache, you can't sleep, and you put it on right before you go to sleep, you get a good night's sleep, and then you still wake up with no toothache.
So you want to write this stuff down. We're giving you great information here, right? If you have a toothache, obviously we want you to go to the dentist. But if you can't make the dentist, then clove bud oil is the way to go.
Or they say, like they did in COVID, we have one next month on a Tuesday,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
For COVID, that was horrible. Remember how long I had a crack in my tooth and I had to wait?
Anything
I had to wait forever.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so why don't we take a break?
Okay.
That'll be our first half hour. And then we got a couple more things we're going to do, and then we're going to do the quiz.
Okay.
And so for those of you that are listening, thank you so much. We do appreciate it. We'll come back, we'll talk about if Terry found $1 million in her account, besides going to Hawaii, what else would she do with it? Or would she let anybody know? We'll talk about that coming up next. So you want to start a podcast. Maybe you're listening to the show today and you're thinking to yourself, boy, that would be fun. And I have a lot of things I want to talk about. Maybe today is the day. Maybe you're looking for a new marketing channel, or you have a message that you'd like to share with the world. Or you just think it would be fun to have a talk show. Now, it is a lot of fun just talking to your friends. Maybe you have ideas about sports, life, or whatever your passion is. Today's the day. Podcasting is easy, it's inexpensive, and it's a fun way to expand your reach online. And where should you go? Buzzsprout. It's hands down the easiest, and it's the best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. And your show, believe it or not, can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories in minutes, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcast, and you wouldn't believe how many more there are. And they make it simple to join all of them. Podcasting is not hard when you have the right partners, and Buzzsprout is the team to join. They are passionate about your success. You can join over 1,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout. We're one of them. We've been on Buzzsprout from the beginning, and I'm so glad I joined up. I had a little bit of an issue, emailed a customer service rep, and they got back to me within 5 minutes, and they had me calm down. It wasn't that hard, and what I was doing was my fault. So here's all you got to do. Click on the link in the show notes. It tells Buzzsprout we sent you. You can support our show, and if you get a paid plan, you get a $20 gift certificate from Amazon. Now, here's some other things that Buzzsprout provides. Like, you get a great looking podcast website. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I got to get a website, got to pay for that. No, you don't. They provide it for you. Also, they have audio players. Maybe you have a website, and all you want to do is promote your show on your own website. You can do that with their audio players, and you can also drop it into other websites and on Facebook or Twitter, and they help you do it all. Believe me, Buzzsprout is the way to go. They've helped me immensely, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So maybe today is a day for you to start your podcast. And if you do, check out the link below in the show notes and get a $20 Amazon gift card. Welcome back to the show. I'm Ron.
And I'm Terry.
So our names haven't changed. Maybe one time I'll have you say Ron and I'll say Terry.
Oh.
We'll do it backwards. You go Ronita. Your name could be Ronita. I could still be.
I still like Veronica.
Veronica. Yeah, that was one of the names that we had talked about. Girl, we have all
For
boys.
girl.
We have three wonderful boys. Don't get me wrong; they're fantastic, and I gush about them because you know what? We've been blessed. We talk about that a lot. I talk about the kids. Like to get them all on the show. Haven't been able to do that because, no offense to Sarah, but now that Zach has a girlfriend, we never see him anymore. We don't see him. And he's been on a couple times, and he's a big hit. So hopefully we get them both on again.
We have got him.
We've had him but twice,
We've
I
gotten
think.
them on.
He's been on 3 times.
It's Nathan and Alexis that we haven't.
Just haven't been able to
get
connect,
it.
but she works really long hours. God bless her. I don't know how she does it. But anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, we had names for girls, because we thought, well, maybe we'll have a girl. And I think Mia
Michelle was the one
was
your
one.
grandma always said, now that's Italian.
You said Ronica. I'm not a, huge fan.
Veronica,
Ronica, wasn't it?
Erica. Yeah,
Erica,
I think Nathan would have been Erica.
Wasn't there another one? Girl's name.
Yeah.
What was
Zachary would have been Alyssa.
it? Alyssa. Okay. But we
It
have
had
all
to be
boys.
spelled a certain way, though, because it meant something different.
RJ, Nathan, and Zach. There, I just mentioned them on the air. And then we'll mention their Nathan's wife, Alexis, and then RJ's soon-to-be wife, we're hoping. Lauren, and then Sarah's is Zach's girlfriend. And then we have our beautiful grandson, Fen, who's he is such a
blessing.
Let me ask you something before we move on here. So Fen was over here Sunday, and are you exhausted when he leaves?
He exhausts you just watching him.
He just is a ball of fire, a little guy. He knows certain things he likes to do. My wife has a walk-in closet. He likes to go in there and hide out every once in a while, but he doesn't stand there very long because he doesn't do anything very long. But he's just, he's such a ball of fire. But I must be getting old, because I'm constantly crawling on the floor, chasing him around.
And sometimes he won't take anyone but you. I try to hold him and he just, he wants grandpa. So grandpa is paying for being the fun one now.
Yeah, I'm paying the price.
And he won't go to sleep when grandpa's around because grandpa's
I put him
fun.
to sleep.
I know, but then you try to lay him down and he woke right back up.
Oh boy. And then he was wide awake.
It was
10 minutes.
I know, 10-minute nap.
I needed more than that.
I know.
Should have stayed. I had him in mind because Lauren said, just snuggle. RJ said, just snuggle him. He's fine. You don't have to put him down. I should have listened. That's okay. All right. So what would you do if you found $1 million in your account?
I would call the bank to see who made the mistake.
A college student in South Africa. She woke up to find $1 million in her bank account. The company responsible for administering student funds made a clerical error that turned her from a starving student on a ramen noodle budget to a high roller overnight. So it's always, if you're going to find money.
And she had to pay that back, I'm sure.
Well, I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, but it's always 9 times out of 10. it's some kind of issue.
Call the bank to see who made a mistake.
Right. Call the man, as I would say. Call the man. Okay, so while she apparently called to confirm the deposit and was told it was correct, it was very obvious that it was not. That didn't stop her, though, from going on a 2-month spending spree. Now, I understand her going from, she knew.
You know that's not your money.
She knew it wasn't right.
So you know you're going to have to pay it back. I mean, it's just like using a credit card now, because when you pay it back, when they take that back off, you're going to have a credit card bill or something to pay those people back that you used the money.
Well, let's be honest. You know, if we're going to talk about financial situations, a credit card is so easy to use.
Oh yeah, ching 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 ching, and you can rack it up very quickly.
Well, you don't even. I think at times, and I've been guilty of this because we've had situations where things kind of pile up on us, and rather than take us down to zero, we use a credit card. But then you don't realize how fast, like you said. And the other part that's scary is it's not 2%. We're talking 15, 20, 29 at times. So it's so easy to use, and I do believe.
And whoa, you only have a $50 payment if you go up to $1,000. So why not?
Yeah, but it could. But you're
50
also
at 20%. You pay that for 10 years.
Well, you're never paying it off.
Yeah, you're never. Yeah, you're just paying interest forever.
Don't you think that there should be some sort of, and I'm sure there is, maybe there is, I don't know, does your school or any school have a financial class where it talks about, as they get older, junior, senior year, maybe even sophomore year? Our
FCS class used to do the checkbook and budgeting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They've cut that out.
Cut it out. It's not important anymore.
Now, I know some consumer math classes have that in. And they even do like mortgages and mortgage rates and how to shop for things like that in some math classes, consumer math classes. Like if you're not taking calculus and trig and stuff like that in high school, if you're not headed to college with your math classes and you take a consumer class, some of them do have, like if you go online, there's some consumer math classes that have, budgeting and stuff like that in them.
I just think that we've gotten away from basics. And we've talked about this on the show before when Sarah and Zach were here. When you take away home ec, when you take away just basic living circumstances, right? We're not teaching kids to be responsible for their money. We're not teaching them that if parents are working more, things cost more. So they can't.
And people say we don't need those things because they can watch it in 5 minutes on YouTube. But can they? Do they? And some kids have common sense with that, and some kids don't.
Well, watching it on TikTok, I didn't bring this up. This happened. I saw this story a while back. It's on TikTok. They were showing. I don't know if it was adults showing to cook chicken in NyQuil. Which is bad for you anyway. But then the Food and Drug Administration had to come out and say, not only is it, when you're cooking this in NyQuil, are you causing issues, but just the vapors coming off
of the
can actually cause damage to you. Just having that alone. Well, first of all, TikTok. This is what TikTok is famous for. The Tide Pods, they're eating Tide Pods. Then you've got the chicken and NyQuil. You got people getting out of their car while the car's moving, dancing. And this is the kind of crap that our kids are watching, and you wonder why we're in some deep trouble if these are our future politicians.
Oh, yeah.
Think about that. Anyway, so yeah, cooking chicken.
Because they'll say everyone does it.
But these are things, financial, home ec. These are, how to sew up a button if you're by yourself real quick because you're going on an interview. Or even interview process as you get older. Going to an interview. Maybe you're not going to college. That's fine. Whatever you decide to do. But you still should be able to go to an interview and not wear raggedy clothes. Although, I mean, I guess, and nowadays, I don't know if some of these places even care.
I know.
Because they can't find people to work. But you would think you would teach them professionalism.
Right. Or at least cleanliness.
Cleanliness. Wash your hair, brush your teeth, these kind of things. I don't know. Maybe I'm old. Maybe I'm old school. Anyway, so she found $1 million. She went on a spending spree. Some fellow students noticed that her standard of living had suddenly risen and dropped a dime on her. Fortunately, by the time the school looked into it, the woman only had spent I say that, like $60,000 of the $1 million. She still spent $60,000 in 2 months.
Oh, but $60,000's a lot.
Yeah. She was forced to pay it back, just like we talked about off air.
I told you.
And you said, I would not spend it.
Because I don't want to pay it back.
Yeah, the bottom line is, of course she's going to pay it back.
I hope she got a car in that.
The problem is, now she's further in debt.
Right. $60,000 more in debt.
Yeah, besides the schooling, she's $60,000 more in debt. So the bottom line is, you wake up, you find $1 million.
And hopefully she got wheels to get herself to a job because she's going to need 2 jobs now instead of 1.
What would you do? We'd leave it. In fact, I don't even know if I should bring this up, but Zach was getting some money, and we were like, I don't know why you're getting this, and he was smart. You were telling him, you know what, Zach, you don't need it. Put it away. And then it came back that he
owed $3,000 or whatever,
for
something.
The final.
Yeah.
After he got his master's, but people, they see that. I mean, I see part of her point, but she knew even when they said, "Oh no, it's correct." I mean, part of that there's no way unless you hit the lottery.
I didn't apply for it, and it doesn't say PA lottery or Colorado lottery.
I know I didn't hit because you didn't go fill out the paperwork.
If it says some kind of student loan or one of those government plans, then you're paying some pretty good interest on it when it comes back at you.
That's like, now she's $60,000 more in debt because she spent $60 of the $1 million. Just a bad idea. And again, I think it goes back to, I don't know if she talked to anybody, say, what would you do? Maybe she just figured, hey, it's a windfall. But their mistakes.
Now, the only thing you could do is disappear. Take it out and disappear. Then that's going to be hard to find you. Change your social security number. You'd have to go into the witness protection program.
You know what? You'd be like Andy Dufresne from Shawshank Redemption, where he was the corruption, and he ended up, using the warden was using corruption money. And remember, he escaped through the poop pipe. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then he changed his name. He walked in. Because he was framed. By the way, that's probably one of the best movies I ever watched.
He was framed.
He was
right?
framed. He did not murder.
But what it taught him was how to do that to frame someone else so that he got out of there.
Well, I think he was even if I'm not mistaken, he was a bank. Like he worked at a bank.
Banker.
And his
and
wife
he was honest.
Was cheating on him, and they thought he killed her, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Went to jail for. If you haven't seen The Shawshank Redemption, it's a long movie, but it is such a great movie. And then I was watching this online. They were talking about the Christian values that movie actually was showing, like redemption and all this.
Except he does use.
Well, it's on that sign.
It said bad money in a good way at the end to get himself out of there.
I was seeing there's a plaque on the wall. Thou shalt. No, what was the? Oh shoot, I forgot what. There was a plaque on the wall that said something about like you. If you're going to do something, it could come back on you. If you got to be careful about what you sow.
Yeah, what you sow.
Anyway, we got really off subject. Okay, so we're going to take a test here in a minute. We're going to find out some polarizing. What was I saying? Polarizing traits of Terry, just by answering these questions. We'll do that in a second. First, let's talk about you're upset. You're angry. What would be your go-to non-swear word? In other words, if you needed to say something, but you're like, I don't want to say that word.
Oh, sugar.
Really? Sugar? How about frick? Would you say frick?
Frick.
No, you're not a frick person?
Oh,
sugar.
Sugar instead of shit.
How about gosh darn? Would that get it? If you slam your finger in the car door, is gosh darn coming out of your mouth? Probably not.
I don't know. Family I grew up with, they call each other monkeys. That meant, son of a monkey.
Son of a monkey. Yeah. Oh. Would it be dog?
Well, no, they called
isn't a
each
bitch
other
a dog?
monkeys. They were calling each other bad names.
Oh, well, okay.
In their head, you knew it was one of the other ones.
So if you had to, I've heard you when you go off. You're pretty good. You can turn into a trucker pretty quickly if you really wanted to. You have to be when you get really mad.
I know you can hear me across the street.
Yeah, when you get really mad, you can say some words. Kind of turns me on sometimes. A British study, because it's not every other word.
I don't curse that often.
No, we don't. It's not, because first of all, for me, I just feel like if you don't have no vocabulary, if you have to use that word every other, it just makes no sense.
My whole thing is intelligent people don't need to curse like that all the time, do they?
I don't think so. I don't know why.
I mean, they say that's effing, like that's cool, and I'm like, it's just
that kind of turned me on.
Not intelligent, It would.
Anyway, so they did this study at Keele University, and they found that swearing is good for us. It says cursing is a harmless, creative, emotional release that can make you feel stronger. It says basically they argue that profanity is often used as a coping mechanism.
Like shiitake mushrooms. Oh, shiitake mushrooms.
Yeah. And can help us feel more resilient. And then that's what's your favorite non-swear word, which I already asked you. I was thinking the other day I screwed something up, and I said something, but I can't remember. Like, I don't say Shazam, it just doesn't do it for me. It doesn't work. It doesn't take, even though it doesn't really take the pain away when you swear, it doesn't.
No,
and then I'm upset because I swore anyway. But, and then also, when you're in the workplace, depending on where you are, if you're a warehouse, it's a little different because it's a warehouse. But you like to be more professional. You don't want to kind of let that flow out there like it does. But if you need to swear, it's not a bad thing. It could help you. I guess a lot of it is depending on what happened. If you slam your finger in the door,
I say, oh shit.
Gosh darn is not going to come out of your mouth. Mother freaking gosh darn, whatever. I was trying to think of a word that, like, Gomer would say Shazam, but that wasn't a swear word for Gomer. And I think, I always remember the one where Barney and Andy Griffith, this is the shows that I watch. Remember he got his foot ran over, and the guy was sitting, the car was sitting on his foot, and Opie was standing there, and he goes, Opie, you're really cramping my language, or something. I forget how I blew it because I can't remember how he said it. You're putting a cramp in my, he wanted to swear
bad
because the car was on his foot. But anyway, so gosh darn is Terry's go-to. I just find that hard to believe.
Not gosh darn. Sugar.
Or sugar.
I don't know.
I'm sure you'll think of a couple when we're done with this.
Mm-hmm.
We're done with this. All right,
let's do
the test. You ready? Okay, here's how it works. I'm going to give you 20 controversial foods. You're going to rate each one, and you just tell me, like, I'll do you the rate in a minute. It's like a little bit, you really like it, you really hate it. Okay. Now, also, if you've never tried it, then it stays in neutral. So I don't have to do anything. It just stays in neutral.
Okay.
So if you've never tried this food, we just say, I haven't tried it. We'll just sit there. And then we're going to press OK, and then we'll see what is a polarizing trait of yours. We'll start with, how do you feel about mayonnaise? Now, the scale is yuck or yum. Now, again, you can go, if I turn this around, I got the computer. You can go a little bit. Like if you like yuck, but not quite yuck all the way. You can go halfway.
More
or
yum.
you can go yum. So we'll do more yum.
More yum.
Okay, so mayonnaise, Terry says, a little bit of yum.
Like I like
that?
more than
A little
that.
bit more?
I like it on
About half?
salads. I
Half.
like it. Yeah. I
Okay.
like it on salads. I like it on sandwiches.
Like with peanut
I
butter?
eat peanut butter and mayonnaise. So, I mean, mayonnaise is okay with me.
All right, how do you feel about oysters?
Yuck, almost all the way to
Have
that.
you had them?
Yes, and I don't like the texture of them, and I'm not really a fish person anyhow. So almost all the way to yuck.
Almost all the way. Okay, I did almost all the way. What's your stance on Brussels sprouts? Yuck or yum?
More to the yuck, but right almost in the middle, like barely to the yuck.
Okay, barely to the yuck. All right, how about this? I know you're a licorice fan. How about black licorice?
All the way to the yuck, almost all the
Ooh,
way.
Doesn't like the black licorice. How about cilantro? And I know you put that on your. Don't you put that on your like?
I put it in salsa, and I put it.
I wouldn't call it a yum yum.
No, I just a very little bit to the yum.
Oh, just a little bit.
Yeah,
Not all the way to yum.
No, I only use it in like salsa, and I don't like put it on a lot of things.
Okay,
so.
let's go to blue cheese.
All the way to the yuck.
No blue cheese. Have you had blue cheese? I don't think I've ever had blue cheese.
I don't care for it. I don't like it in feta cheese.
Candy corn.
It's right in the middle. I could live without it, but every
But
once
more
in a
towards
while
the
I
yum?
like it. Yeah. Well, right in the middle, just a little bit to the yum. Just like
Okay.
just a hair. If it's sitting there, I would eat it. So it's not yuck.
Okay. I know. Yeah, that's me too. It's not my go-to.
It's not like I would go buy
Right.
it specifically to eat.
Right.
But if we went to visit someone and they had a dish out, I'd probably take a couple.
By the way, this test, I am hoping to put the link on our show notes.
Okay.
So they can do it on their own if they want to do this. We're doing we're doing a food type thing. Her polarizing trait. What's your take on olives? Now they have a picture of green olives, but I'm going to say olives overall. Okay, it says green.
I love black olives,
but
but I hate green olives. So if it's green, it's to the yuck.
Well, it doesn't say, it just says olives in general. So I'm going to,
Then
if we
right
put
in the middle.
halfway,
Yeah.
right, between neutral and yum. We'll
Right
go-
on neutral, probably, because I don't like green ones and I like
Well, that's
black
if you
ones.
don't try them. You've tried it. So I was thinking, not quite halfway to yum. We'll keep, you know what, we won't even go that far. We'll go right about there. Is that good?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good. That's good.
Next one is white chocolate. How do you feel about white chocolate?
All the way to the yum.
I like white chocolate too. All the way to the yum. Okay,
Well,
next.
not the yummiest thing in the world, but close.
Oh, back it off a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to back it off. Okay. How do you feel about beets?
I like them. My mom used to pickle them when we were little, and right, just a wee little bit in the like, just a wee little bit in the like towards
Okay.
the like.
All right. How do you feel about anchovies?
Almost all the way to the yuck.
Okay. What is your stance on putting, oh man, I knew this was coming. What is your stance on putting pineapple on pizza?
It's all the way to the yum.
Yeah, I know. You and Zach and probably a lot of people listening. I didn't put all the way to yum, but I'm really close.
Yeah, close to. I mean, it's not my favorite. I like bacon, pineapple, and ham, and I like the Hawaiian pizza.
How do you feel about tofu?
I actually liked tofu when I was starting menopause, and I would put it in our chicken and stuff like that. I'd put it in chicken.
Did I try tofu? I didn't
You
even
might
know.
not have known it was in there, but if you cook it with something, it tastes like that. Like if you cook it with a little bit of teriyaki sauce and chicken, it kind of tastes like chicken teriyaki.
Are we going with yum?
No, because
No.
plain, I don't care for it. So just a little bit towards the yum,
Yeah.
but not very
Oh, just a
far.
little bit
Not-
towards
not
okay.
real far.
Okay. How do you feel about mushrooms?
I like mushrooms most of the time.
So halfway or yum?
Yeah, about halfway.
Okay. Well, here's a good one because you eat a lot of this. Kale. How do you feel about kale?
I don't really like kale.
By itself.
Right. But if you cook it with some bacon.
Oh, God.
I've learned to mask kale. And you know what? I can put it in smoothies with things.
True.
And it does not bother me. So put it just a wee little bit towards the yum.
Okay. What do you think about cottage cheese?
I used to hate it, but now I can tolerate it.
So just a little bit.
Towards the yuck.
Oh, okay. A little bit towards the yuck. Okay.
Yeah, because I used to hate it. I mean, it used to be all the way towards that. But now I can tolerate it. You put some pineapple in it and I can tolerate it.
Are you a coconut fan?
I am a coconut fan, yes.
So would we be a little more like closer to yum?
Closer to yum.
Okay. How do you feel about asparagus?
By itself, it's I don't really care for it. It's not my favorite. But you wrap it in bacon and I can go there.
Didn't we just have, did Lauren do that?
Lauren did that.
Oh, it was fantastic.
I was fantastic.
Depending on what's wrapped around it. I'll have to remember that, wrap myself around a bacon.
Same thing with the Brussels sprouts. What did I do with the Brussels sprouts? That'd be about the same.
So which way are we going?
Just a little bit towards the yum, but not very far.
Okay. Do you like caviar? I've never had it.
I don't know if I've ever had it. I'm
keep it
thinking I have, but it was so I'm going to
keep it neutral.
I think that I didn't like the texture of it.
Last one. So we're going to put that neutral because I don't think we'd like it.
I'm thinking I tried it and I didn't like the texture of it at all.
This would be easy for you. What is your take on celery?
Oh, I eat celery. I do not care for celery unless you have ranch or peanut butter with it.
Here we go with that peanut butter. Told you, folks.
But I can eat it, especially since I've been dieting. I've learned to eat it plain too. So, yeah, a little bit towards the yum.
How far? Like middle?
Not quite middle.
Okay. All right, that was the last one. I'm done.
Because I like to disguise it.
This is your polarizing, what would I say? Trait or whatever, personality. You are confident. You've been called arrogant. You've been called smug. You're just sure of yourself. Or you're great at not letting others know when you're unsure of yourself. Most people are intimidated by brazen self-confidence. Yeah, I don't see that.
I don't see that in me.
Not really. I mean, you are a confident person.
I am a confident person.
But I don't see
I'm confident in like in my job. I'm confident in that I can learn anything from what I've gone through in my job and in different jobs. I feel like I could learn anything. But I might be good at hiding when I'm not feeling secure in something. But not arrogant. I don't think that it seems odd. I don't think I give an aura of arrogance to other people or anything like that. Do you?
No,
I mean,
that's why I said it just doesn't.
I confident, but not arrogant at all. I mean, I try to treat everyone the way I would want to be treated.
Yes, I'm trying to get it back on, and I can't. It kind of threw me up for a loop here. For some reason.
I mean, I do in confidence in myself and where I am and who I am as a person. Like some people feel like they have to be liked, like everyone needs to like them and stuff like that. And I accept that everyone's not going to like me, and that I don't let that.
Well, maybe that's part of the.
I don't let
confidence.
I don't let that bother me, but I don't think I'm arrogant.
Okay, so
should
I do mine?
Yeah.
Okay, how do I feel about mayonnaise? You know, I love mayonnaise.
You love mayonnaise.
So mayonnaise is a yum for me, probably more than it should be. Oysters, never had them.
Really?
Nope, never had them. Brussels sprouts, I believe I've had them because you've probably gave them to me and I didn't even know they're in there. I think.
I don't buy Brussels. I don't buy them. So I'm
going to go a little bit towards the yuck, but I don't know if I've ever had them. Black licorice is just a yuck.
Oh, it's horrible.
I don't like black
It's awful.
licorice.
It's all the way to a yuck.
Cilantro. Would I put that in my salad sometimes?
No, you probably. I've made homemade salsa and I've made things with it in there, and you've ate it.
Okay, so I wonder if I'll just say a little bit.
When something is spicy, the cilantro is in it. Usually.
Blue cheese. I don't think I've ever had blue cheese. Candy corn. I'm not a big fan. I'll eat it, but it's not.
Like I said, if it's sitting there, I eat it, but I'm not going to go to the store and buy it.
The olives, I love black olives. I don't.
I don't
really don't like green olives
at all.
White chocolate. I'm good with white chocolate. I like white chocolate. Beets. I've had beets. I think. I didn't think I really liked them that much.
They're better pickled.
I don't even know if I had a pickled beet. Anchovies. Never had it. And, well, no, I take it back. I think we've had it on our pizza. But I wouldn't know if I ate it. I'm just going to, I don't. Pineapple on my pizza, I've eaten it. I'm not crazy about it. When it's the last piece, you do whatever you got to do when you're hungry. Tofu, never had it.
Yes, you have.
I've had tofu. But, see, I don't remember. So how do I mark that? I'll just go a little bit to the yuck. Mushrooms, I've had them. They're not my. I mean, I've had them on my pizza.
And I put them in salad sometimes. Do you eat around them or do you eat them?
I eat them because it blends in with all the French
dressing, the French dressing you put on it.
That I put on, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, mushrooms I did. Kale, I've had kale. Oops, I've had kale, and it's been.
But it's always in a smoothie or it's in something.
It's okay because again, it disguises it.
Yeah.
Cottage cheese, not a big fan. Coconut, as you know, I am not a coconut fan at all.
I'm trying to figure out that coconut rice. It was so good.
Asparagus, I had it with bacon wrapped around. It was pretty good. So I'll put okay. Caviar, never had it. Celery, I got to have peanut butter on it. I'll put a little bit of yum on there. And I'm done. And this is I have strong opinions. It says, you're not afraid to speak out.
This is true.
Those who agree with you love you for it. Those who don't agree with you, not so much.
I don't know. Everyone likes you, though.
Not really. I think they just hide it.
No, I think most people like you because, whenever we were dating, my in-laws just loved you.
Your in-laws? In-laws? Oh, yeah.
They just loved you.
Yeah, they're great people.
And
they're good people.
I don't know if you ever let them know you were opinionated, but I know you're opinionated because you'll tell me your opinion about something my sister does or someone close to us does.
That's how I vent.
Yeah, you vent it to me when no one else knows, like what you're trying to hide.
You and Rigby.
Yeah.
When Rigby's here, I tell him how I feel.
You tell him, get that out, don't you?
Yeah, I tell him, why are you here again? All right, that's it. We did it. Now I'm going to try and put this quiz. You can do it yourself. Play along with your friends. I hope I can do it.
Still can't believe it said arrogant.
Yeah, I'm a little lost on that one too. Hey, don't forget to follow us on Facebook or Twitter, Just Talking Out Loud. Also, you want to subscribe. We want more listeners. Tell your friends. I know we get off on certain things, but tell your friends. We want to build this thing up. Our tangents. Yeah, that's good. We want to build this thing up. So, subscribe, pass it along, do whatever you can. I might have to advertise a little bit more and do that on myself too. So please do that. You subscribe every Monday. We have a brand new episode. So we want to thank you for that. And that'll do it.
Have a great week.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's show.